All right, so we're going to do chapter 4, 4.0 in your textbook. This is, let's see, the saddle bracket design. So we're going to choose new. And this one is in inches. So I'm going to go back to English, standard, inch, IPT, and create. All right, and it has us on page 4-7 creating this profile that is on step number 4. So I'm going to start a new sketch, my XY plane like I usually do. I'm going to choose a line, and let's see, it looks like if I start by going directly up, that line is going to be 1.75. There we go. All right, so it looks like this one, 0.5. Doesn't tell me what this one is, but it does say that the bottom is 0.75, so I'm going to assume that this is going to be 1. Across here, it does not tell me, but if I do my math, it looks like it's going to be 1 as well. Back up to where we started. This is going to be 0.5. And let's see, if this whole thing is 1.75, the bottom is 0.5. This line going straight down will be 1.25. So if that's 2 from here to here, and the whole thing is 3.25 wide, that means this is going to be 1.25. And this should be 0.5. And then this should be 3.25, perfect. Right, and everything is black, so we are fully constrained, it looks like, so we can finish our sketch. Right, so we're going to extrude this by, it looks like, 2.5. Go, so extrude, that's my only profile, so it's going to automatically choose that, 2.5, say okay. Right, so now we have this. Let's see. Now we are going to start a new sketch, and now we're going to put the rounded feature on the front. So I'm going to rotate around so that I can choose the bottom. There we go. Except I'm going to rotate around. And let's see. We want a center point circle. So I'm going to hover around until I get that center point right there where it turns green. And I'm going to come out and it should be a 2.5 diameter circle. All right, so now we are going to finish sketch. There we go, I want to see that. Extrude, I'm only going to choose this part of the semicircle. And then I'm going to make sure it's a join. And I'm going to do 2. I'm going to choose 2 right here. What does that mean? That's going to go to whatever I choose. So once I click 2, it wants me to select a face. So I'm going to select this face here, and that's where that extrusion will meet. And click OK. So let's see. It does want to point out that we can change the names of our extrusions. So this one, it wants us to name that the base. So if we hover over this and right click and come down, where's that? There should be a rename here. The feature. Oh, no. Oh, there we go. All you have to do is left click it. And this is going to be called base. Okay, and then this one, same thing, extrude. It opened it, I didn't want that. There we go. If you click it and then click it again slowly, not like a double click. This is going to be circular end. All right, there we go. All right, so let's see. So we want to select the base and right click, and we want to show dimensions. and it wants us to change this. Oh Lord, where is my dimension? It's gotta be down here somewhere. Oh, I didn't make that dimension. All right, so if you did what I did and did not make that dimension, you're gonna have to go back in here and make it. So from the end to end is the 3.25. That's the dimension it wants. And that's going to be a driven dimension. That's okay. So finish sketch. All right. And now we want to show those dimensions again. Now it wants me to double click on that one and see, and it's not going to let me change it because I had these other dimensions. Actually, it wants me to delete that one. So since it is a driven dimension, I'm going to go back, I'm going to delete this guy and this guy. I'm going to redraw this one. There we go. All right, I messed up by putting too many dimensions there. So we're going to go back and show dimensions. It wants to click on this one and change that to 3. Shorten that right up. And then I'm going to click this up here and that'll update your model. Come back in again, show dimensions. And now it wants us to change this 2.5 to 2. And update. There we go. So it's a little bit skinnier, a little bit shorter. And that is called the local update. So whenever you make a change and it doesn't necessarily update here, click that and that will update that for you. All right, so now we are going to put the hole right in the middle here. So I'm going to choose the hole command, and it wants me to pick the bottom plane again. So I'm going to come down here, and there's my hole. But I want to make sure that it is concentric to this arc, so I'm going to choose the bottom arc here, and that makes them share a center point. All right, so the hole diameter is going to be, oh, why is this in millimeters? Well, that is different, considering everything else is in inches. I want this to be 0.75 inches. Oh, it took it away. Where'd it go? There we go. That was weird. I've never seen that happen. All right, and we want to make sure that this is through all, and we can say OK. All right, so now we have our hole there. So remember, if yours does pop up on millimeters like mine did, just type in inches. All right, so now we are going to cut the rectangle through this part. So I'm going to start a new sketch. I'm going to choose that plane there. And let's see. It wants us to put a rectangular cut of 1 by 0.75. So I'm going to use a rectangle. Put that in there. Dimension, it's going to be 0.75 from the top. It's going to be 1 from side to side, and it's going to be 0.5 from one edge. There we go. All right, so it wants us to extrude this, and it wants to do a to next, just to kind of show you what happens there. So to next, it'll go until it hits the next object and it'll stop. However, we're actually going to want this to go through all. Just like so. And say OK. All right, so that's everything. We only have one thing. We have to add a fillet here. You could simply just add a fillet like so. This is going to be 0.25, 0.25, and you would just select that edge. But I am going to show you another way to do it. I'm going to go back into Sketch 1, and I'm going to do it from here. I'm going to choose fillet. This is going to be 0.25, and I'm going to come and click there. Finish sketch. And it updated itself. That's all for the part. So now we have to make our drawing. So file, new. Actually, it's going to make me save this first. And this is going to be 4.0. Now I'm going to do my drawing. We can definitely make that a little bit bigger, maybe even 3. Let's see. Yeah, I think that'll work, and I can actually bring this down just a wee bit. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is add my center marks and bisectors. So one center mark there, and a bisector there, since that's the middle of my hole, and same thing on the front view, or side view, excuse me. All right, so now we can start placing dimensions. All right, so I'm going to do my total length here. There are my diameters. All right, that looks good. So now I'm going to go from here to here. Lined up. There we go. Right, now I'm not going to do all 3 dimensions here because we already know the total width. We have placed the total width is the same as the radius here. So your total width is going to be 2. So I don't need to place that there. I do need that because it is different from the other side. That direction, that direction. All right, I think that's everything. Yeah, that's all of your dimensions that you'll need. And make sure you save your file, Activity 4.0.